Cześć, tutaj Sebastian. makeKizombaGROW.
Nie wyjdzie to. Hej, jestem Zuza, makeKizombaGROW.
Hello.
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 We are here with João Giedre. You are on Kizomba scene for many years.
A little.
But can you tell us about your background, about your story, how you started to dance?
Yeah, sure. I started dancing in 1999, 2000, salsa. Actually, I started with Cuban salsa. I didn't know there was a difference between the different salsas at the time. Then I stopped for a little bit, and I found new other teachers. And LA style was basically the predominant one in Lisbon. So I started learning LA style without knowing I was learning LA style. And that kept until 2007. Not that I didn't know at the time the differences, but I just kept with house until 2007. I was a little bit resistant in the beginning with Kizomba.
Okay.
Because I find it too slow, I want the action, salsa is the thing. But that was the tricky part until I actually tried it. And once I tried Kizomba, I was like blown away.
So how long it took you to give it a chance from the beginning of salsa?
What happened was in Lisbon, the salsa parties, maybe from around 2004, 2005, I'm not really 100% sure. So they start having also the Kizomba in the salsa parties.
Okay.
In a major, just one room, let's say, salsa party, the break of the salsa, most places in Europe you put the bachata. In Lisbon they would put the Kizomba. So this is how slowly Kizomba started being introduced. There was the old Bahi routine that had a smaller room, and in that room usually there was a salsa party in the big room, and then the small room was where it was the Kizomba. And there was still a point I was completely pissed in the party when they would make a break from salsa and they would play Kizomba on both sides. I was a little bit against Kizomba, but again, it's those kind of things, until you try, don't judge. And in 2007, basically, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, the girlfriend I had before the gift of my life, and that ex, she was actually very jealous. So I could not even smile to someone that I would be hitting on the first. So I was very reserved, especially Kizomba has been closed. Then I've always been a little bit reserved. I believe a little bit from that matter. So once we broke up, I said, well, let's try Kizomba. And that was back in 2007.
Okay.
And I started getting into it and became a passion that is still today a strong one. It became my life. I never expected, I never wished for doing what I do these days. It's like literally the kind of job that chose me, and I've been fortunate for that, not because I do Kizomba or I'm aimed to be a teacher. Things happen really naturally. That's how Kizomba came into my life.
How your story goes?
Well, I started dancing when I was 19, actually, because before I grew up in the countryside, so I had a chance to do sports, play piano, sing, but there was no dance activity, but I love dancing. I would go since like 12 or 13. Well, I was not actually allowed to, but I went to the local discos and I was crazy about dancing. Anyhow, when I was 19, when I got to university, my mom was like, well, now it was a day study, so, well, you have time in the evenings after your studies, why don't you go and dance? I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So, Klaipėda is known, the city where I did study, Klaipėda is known for ballroom. So I started with ballroom. I loved it, and the Latin and the classic one, I loved all of it, and until now I think that's very beautiful, very elegant, very charming. It's different when you go to compete because it's more like a sport, but when you dance for yourself, for me, the elegance is beautiful. I love it. Anyhow, meanwhile, I went to the local club, and there is a club like a barrio Latino kind of in my city, and they play Latin music. So we play salsa, bachata, merengue, different rhythms. And so I saw, okay, there is a salsa, so many people dancing. I was like, oh, I would like to try that too. So our ballroom teachers did salsa like once in 2 weeks or so. So I kind of got hooked with salsa. It was at that time LA, and I met more people dancing. I danced Cuban salsa, so I tried Cuban as well. And meanwhile, I went to the salsa workshop organized by Bachata Soul in Vilnius, and we gave one workshop. I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't know what Kizomba was. I think it was 2009 or 10. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
So they gave one workshop of Kizomba, and we, for me, was magic. We came after lunch, after salsa, tired, with full stomach, in this mood when you want to chill. And we played this beautiful music that I never heard before. I was like, what is this? And then it started to dance with the hug and everything. And I was like, I don't want to do salsa anymore. After this, I just want this Kizomba. And I started Googling, looking for information. Where is this Kizomba coming from? What's happening? I found nothing almost in English. Very, very little. I found that it's Angolan dance. Well, I found that in Portugal there is a festival called Africa Dançar. So next thing what I do, I did the study. I was not working at the time. I was saving my money all the time for half a year more or less, for 5 months maybe, to go to this Africa Dançar. I was crazy. I wanted to learn Kizomba, in Lithuania was Vilnius. And I did studies 300 kilometers away. So for me to go there would take like full day, 4 hours one way, 4 hours another way. So it was kind of not very convenient to go on a daily or weekly basis. So I actually went to Portugal after, 4 or 5 months after trying for the first time to that festival. I danced every single night before the festival in local clubs. I did all the workshops. I did all the parties. I did everything I could. I was so in love, and then I was like in love with Portugal, with people, with food, with country, with everything.
Not with me yet.
He was not there at that time when I went for the first time.
I was already living abroad.
I didn't meet him at that time.
Okay.
And the second time when I went to Lisbon, I actually met him in Barrio Latino, in the old one.
In the pre-party of...
In the pre-party of the festival, of Life Festival. So that was my second time in Portugal, the same year, by the way, because after the first one I was so crazy about Kizomba and the festival and dancing there and country and everything. I was like, I need to go back. And then I found out that the same year there is another festival. I was like, poor students saving for 2 trips. Some people in Lithuania go, to the holiday once and maybe to Krakow, the countries around, to Latvia, me to Portugal, crazy expensive trip and everything, being student. But I was so in love that I don't understand this kind of people like Mr. Husband that didn't like Kizomba for some reason. I cannot understand how you may not like it. It's so amazing.
I don't understand either.
Well, we got to conclusion that Kizomba is the best, right?
A lot of people, they just make stupid decisions until they make assumptions, until they make the right one.
I started from trying, so I was literally in love from the first sight. And
but I'm like that with food too, I'm the kind of person that, for example, do you want to try this? No, I don't like it. Have you tried? No. So how do you know I don't like it? I don't like how it looks, but you have to taste it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's the way I am.
So when I met him, at that time I was more like in the ghetto zouk mode and Kizomba, and I like romantic and harder beats, and I also love Tarashinia. but I could not understand very well Samba yet. For me, that was the time when Samba felt like this fast Kizomba, and I loved the feeling of Kizomba, the romance of it, the softness of it. And actually, when I danced in Portugal, and especially because at that time when I met him, he actually gave up on organizing the festival that year and spent most of the time dancing with me. So I kind of fell in love with Samba because I was like, yeah, now I really feel the difference in the movement.
Hey. Ask him later. The Samba.
No.
You got hooked with my
He wants to believe that, but I love Samba, so I think Samba now is my priority number one.
Okay.
Kizomba the second, and Teresina would be the third at this point, maybe.
With me, super.
Later on, when I finished my studies in Lithuania, he was living at that time in Sweden, and he convinced me to move.
I have no idea how I managed
I
to
also
do that.
don't know, but I was a little bit maybe tired of my job because I was studying the master and working at the same time.
Okay.
So I was a little bit tired of the job, and I wanted to change something because I was getting bored. So, and he kind of, at that time, was pushing me to try and move to Sweden. So I did, and then he was teaching there. So me, as someone who used to be super busy and work full time and study in the evening and still dance and do the gym and a lot of activities. And in the end, I was like, I moved to Sweden. I have no job, no studies, no nothing. I was like, what I'm going to do now? So we started teaching together. I started helping out in the festival organization. Somehow naturally, I saw he needed some help, and I had a lot of free time. And I enrolled in all of that, and it became, in the end, the full-time job that I would never expect. I never studied in my life to be a dance teacher, but I ended up loving teaching and dancing so much that now it's a full-time job. I don't know how it happened, actually.
She became the boss. She is known by the boss. Ask people around. Yeah.
Is that what it means?
You just need to know where is your place in that place. As simple as that.
Okay, can you tell us how your point of view of this story happened?
My point of view is the best thing that happened to my life.
Okay.
I cannot say it better because it's as simple as that.
So this was like the festival that you organized when you meet together, right?
Yeah. She came as a participant.
So I can listen.
And now she becomes the organizer.
Okay.
Somehow.
Can we like...
I'm very organized, what can I say? And when I see that people need help in organization, I go for it, you know?
Yeah.
So I just went for it.
All the success of the event is thanks to her.
He somehow trusted me, so it was giving me more and more things what I can do with it. So in the end, I ended up doing
I
that.
have the idea, she executes them.
More or less, yes.
It's
This is
kind
how
of
it
a
works.
sin.
But this is not only in Portugal that you do your festivals. I think in Slovakia, right?
Yeah, we have actually like festival we also have in London.
Yes.
So I used to live in London. I lived there for 1 year. And I create strong relationship with, for me, the best promoters that exist in the UK. They called Robert and Jim White from Mambo City. And actually, he was the one picking me up from the airport the first time I moved. It was quite an experience, taking the chance and moving away from your comfort zone to something completely unaware what's going to happen. And he was actually the person that welcomed me because we met him in my first live festival. And
we talked first like festival is
in Lisbon. Yeah. So in the meantime, well, after a few years, because we go now for the 7th edition, like is 7th edition next year. So we did 4 editions of Lisbon before we do the one in London. And in the meantime, because we're living in Frankfurt, we also have a Like Frankfurt.
So this year is going to be the end of the year, the 3rd edition of the Frankfurt one?
And together with my best friend, I have a festival called Toma in Bratislava in July, 2nd weekend.
Well, I'm no boss. This is the boss thing, the best friends doing their thing together.
And it's awesome. Very, well, it's organized. Ish. But nobody knows that. They don't know it. It's so well masked that people are like, whoa, this is really, everything is on time. And trust, you have to go. It's a beautiful boat looking to the center of old town of Bratislava. And if you like Kizomba, Toma.
I've been there, so I can confirm it. And you also have a big relationship with Polish Warsaw Kizomba Festival in,
Obviously, yeah.
Can I
Yes. I didn't know I was going to be doing this interview, so this is not, they are not paying me to have this t-shirt while I do interviews. This is the pure passion of this event. There is a few events. We are very fortunate to come to events like Bachaturo, to Warsaw Kizomba Festival, actually to come to Poland, because one of the best experiences we have with people is Polish people. We love Polish people, and the events that we've been around here, most of the times is just, if not all, it's always very well time spent when we come to Poland.
Yeah, we feel very welcome, and we feel that people appreciate our classes. We really want to learn. So this is for the teachers, that's the most important. When you see people in the classes that we are hungry for knowledge, and we ask you questions, and we stay awake all night long dancing, and then early in the morning we show up for the classes.
They say, Dzień dobry. They don't know that I come here almost for 9, 10 years.
Well, we love to come here, and we go to many different cities lately in Poland, and yes, so
and a little bit higher. Okay.
Well, I actually got this t-shirt during the festival, during Warsaw Kizomba Festival, from one girl. I think she's Polish, but she doesn't live, I think, in Poland anymore. So I complimented her t-shirt during the party.
Yeah.
It was a party about funny t-shirts, I think, dress code.
Okay.
And I loved this t-shirt, and suddenly she disappeared, and she comes back with a basic t-shirt, giving me this one as a present. So these Polish people are just amazing. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I didn't get any t-shirts from any guy. What the hell?
Well, they like me maybe more. I don't know. We have to try harder.
We'll work on it, yeah. It's like,
So we can ask when you're gonna live in Poland.
well,
You changed
that might
places so many times. So
be a
Well,
little
it's
bit.
not so many times. We actually, we spend...
No, I live
3
in
years
London,
sometimes.
Stockholm 3.5 years. Now we are hitting the 4th year
In France.
in France.
can I ask about the reason why you relocate?
Yes, no problem. London, I'm sorry, London people. In advance. London is too big. It's a huge city. I was living in Zone 4. I would take basically 1 hour something, 1 hour and a half, just to reach the city center. If you would go to a local party in the night or something like this, I was single at the time, and I would go out to parties, to meet people, blah, blah. So, to come back, I would take 2.5 hours just to get home, because the party was finishing after midnight. And going to the airport, I would take almost 2.5 hours. Coming back from the airport, 3 hours. I would take longer to get home than in the flight. And in the meantime, being really honest, this was something I was not really expecting in terms of London being like a big city. But London actually always had a lot of fights inside of the scene. There is fights everywhere.
The dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the dancing scene. But when when you leave your country and you're looking for something that is in your perspective, in your hopes, it's like more open, more mind-free, etc. Kind of city, and then you get there and the way people behave is very, for me, I'm sorry, I consider it very small-minded.
Okay.
And for example, if you're a student of this teacher, they incentivize their students not to go to the parties of the other teacher. So what is
maybe
supposed
not
to
all
be?
the schools, right?
Yeah, maybe not all the schools, but the ones, at least the ones I was working and seeing around while I was there. Maybe things have changed a little bit. I hope so. But there was literally a lot of this kind of mentality, if you're my student, don't go to the other teachers' parties or classes or something like that. And in the meantime, it's supposed to be a social dance. It's supposed to people to get together, to have fun, to dance, to connect. And I was like, no, I want to go to some place where I can create my own scene. This was, I'm a dreamer. Literally. But then I wake up and it's a problem. Anyway, I moved to Sweden. There was nobody there in terms of, I was the second person teaching Kizomba.
But before London, you were in Lisbon, right?
Yeah,
And you
that's
changed,
where I grew up.
and you changed because?
I changed, basically, as I said, the teaching found me. I didn't look for it. And I had the fortune of meeting some people visiting Portugal in the parties.
Okay.
And I would get in contact. I could keep contact with those people. Great.
Then they and they invite you to London, right?
London. I will get to that.
Okay.
So basically, I start moving around and going to teach in one location, another location, and when I realized I was having a lot of pleasure from the teaching.
Sorry.
Exactly. I didn't consider myself a teacher, and I would say that openly to everybody. I said, look, I'm here to share something I love, so you can start and you have something to do. So you can, I went to many places for the first time. There was no Kizomba there. I went there for the first time, getting people to start into this dance. So I was really loving, and I saw an announcement saying that they were looking for a Kizomba teacher. And at the time, I was loving so much that part of my life. I was like, this could work. But for this to work, I need to leave Portugal. This was my interpretation. Because most of the big names, and we are talking about 2010, sorry. 2009 is when I started teaching. In 2010 was still very early stage of Kizomba around Europe, and all the big names, it was Portugal. You had Afro-Latin Connection in Porto, and then you had Pechu at the time of Lino, Eliu, Zebra, and I think it was basically this. Quenda. Quenda was also at the time was a huge name in the Kizomba scene. It still is, but I'm talking about, like, it was really, really big. It was like one of the most wanted teachers at the time. But all of them, they were living in Lisbon or Porto. So for me to become an advantage to bring me, first, most probably I would be way more inexpensive compared with what the other teachers would charge, naturally, because they have more experience, they have more knowledge, etc. And a brand, but also the fact that I was living in London would make easier for me to move around with low cost, with the boom of the low cost, and all of these factors together made me move to UK, combined with that announcement that really triggered me the idea of moving away to pursue this path. And it worked well. After not even 1 year, I was spending 4 nights in London, all the rest I was traveling.
And you mean this announcement that they are looking for the Kizomba teacher?
Yeah.
Okay. And after a year, take a trip to...
1 year something, I decided to leave London because I was not really happy there. And I moved to Stockholm, where I stayed for 3.5 years.
Okay.
And I developed the Kizomba scene there. And then things start moving. Very helpful. Things start moving more and more and more. In the meantime, the urban keys start coming. And I have a feeling that Stockholm scene was turning too much to the urban key side.
Okay.
Which is okay. You know, if this is what people want to do, fine. You know, it's not, people must do what makes them happy.
That's what sorry to interrupt, but I think, well, we had very stable school. We didn't have our own school. We went to Groom House School in Stockholm.
Okay.
We had very stable amount of students during the years.
Yeah, but I
They
had
were
that feeling
sticking
that...
with us, but it was not growing as it could grow in 3 years.
Okay.
Let's say like this.
Yeah, and I have the feeling that could be a good time to try other horizons. We had a friend always, her name is Iris, and she was always like, if you ever think about moving a place, think about Frankfurt. Yeah, and I started thinking, half of the flights we do, we stop in Frankfurt.
Yeah, because big...
Of the connection. And then I was looking, metropolitan area in Frankfurt has about 5.5 million people. Stockholm has 2.
Yeah.
Whole Germany has about 80 million. Interesting. And then the third country in our Facebook page that we had the most likes was Germany. First one was Portugal, second was Sweden, where we were living, and the third one that we don't live was Germany. And one thing I really like about Germany is that people, they when they want something, they really work on it. And this is something amazing that German people have. You know?
And we are determined. When people stay with us for almost 4 years, since we arrived, they are taking classes with us. You know, in some other places we would give up maybe after 1 year because we took classes for 1 year. We are already quite advanced. Mm-hmm. We would consider themselves maybe we personal advantage. We don't think that 1 year is really enough, but in many places, many people after 1 year we don't take classes anymore. We do social, some even give up after half year, and there we have students for around 3 years and a half with us for a full year, and some taking not 1 weekly class but 2, and some even 3. So we really feel that people want to learn there, so we are having a good time. We are enjoying being there.
Yeah.
Great.
Too much time, right?
Okay. So now you are in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And as I see you enjoying being there.
Yeah, we didn't plan to have our school. The place shows up. The friends say, hey, there is a place that they are trespassing. You want to go and see it? Yeah, why not? We make calculations, risks, and maybe it could work. And it's going nice. We have amazing people coming to our classes, like really amazing people. Sometimes people have that, like how many times I get this question, like, do you enjoy living in Germany? Yeah, why? Yeah, but Germans, they are really nice people. They really, you know, sometimes it's not so easy to communicate because if they don't speak English, we don't speak German.
Okay. And when you were in Stockholm, you
also English. We tried, but our lifestyle is very hard because we travel on Friday. We come back on Monday. Sometimes we are completely that tired after the weekend. We keep missing classes after class. And if you need to learn a language, you need to have discipline. And that's discipline that we could not afford to have to be able to progress.
We were very tired to learn. We enrolled into the course Monday to Friday. So many times we were missing Monday and Friday. So after half year, you miss like really a lot, almost around 40% of classes. So we felt not very comfortable, and
everybody was moving forward and we were always staying behind.
Fortunately, everyone, or
a lot of people
99% in Sweden, we speak English really well. So we had not much trouble with the language actually.
And probably the same
And
as
Frankfurt, yes, there is a lot of people speak in English because it's a very cosmopolitan city, bankers, so it's
international.
It's very international city. That's an advantage in terms of communication. These days, the younger crowd more and more they speak English. So it changes. Sometimes it's not easy, but it changes. But besides that, there it's really nice. Everything is very well organized. It has its difficulties because financially you need to be able to support yourself. And Germany, it's not an easy country for that because you have a lot of taxes from everything. Insurances, it's crazy. But if you manage to do that, Germany, I think, is a really nice place to be.
So this is the place that you want to stay and create a family and...
We don't know yet.
Okay.
But I always, even before moving away, for me, moving away was always temporary. I don't know how long. It was always with the objective of coming back home. Because for me, Lisbon is it.
Oh, I'm in love with Lisbon too. Okay. So I never worked there, For me, it's a little bit the question of living in Lisbon. I don't know how much I can enjoy myself because I'm very organized and very precise person.
Yeah, Lisbon is not the
and
best place.
The self-mentality is very different. So for me, the working wise, I think Germany is easier country to handle because it's well organized. In Portugal, when you go on holidays, it's amazing. It's really great. When you go for dancing, it's great, and food is great. My only one doubt is I would love to live in Lisbon. I just don't know. Then you need to work there, right? If you want to live there. So my only one concern, if I could handle the Portuguese mentality in the work scene.
So this is a little bit of plan.
This is the open question that we don't really discuss, and we don't really have any kind of plan yet. Or we neither plan to leave Germany, neither to move to Portugal. So for now
we are good in Germany.
Yes.
Concerning Portugal, we don't know where we go. We go there often.
So you mentioned about urban kids' influence in many places. There are some arguments about if it's supposed to happen, if it's supposed to be on the same page as Kizomba. What's your point of view about that?
Oh man, you're touching a very delicate
subject.
It's better
if I say.
No, I can.
You can say that.
Okay.
Breathe.
For me, I think that.
Wait.
So you're going to say, or you breathe first?
No, I don't. Come on, I don't need to breathe. Yeah, it's so tiring. Everybody thinks I'm against it. I'm not against urban kids or something. I have a lot of friends that they are instructors and people that dance urban kids. To be honest, I don't care. It's very simple. The only thing, sometimes it's a little bit annoying for me is to see the word Kizomba being used like as the name of a festival, and then you just see everything is urban kids. You go to a party and then it says Kizomba party, and 80%, 90% of the music is music for urban kids dancers. The only thing I say, or I keep saying is that, okay, if you have an event like this, call it urban kids. Do it. Don't use the word Kizomba, because I have the capacity of looking to the lineup and realize really fast what I can expect from the event. But people that don't have a certain amount of knowledge to differentiate both of them, most of them, they think that urban kids is actually Kizomba. I know that there are teachers like Lohan and so on saying that Kizomba and urban kids, they are the same, it's just a different type. This is my personal opinion. They are the opposite of each other. And for very simple reasons. In Kizomba, gravitational center is down. Urban kids is high. So it's the opposite. In Kizomba, most of the dance we do it close. Urban kids, most of the dance is doing separate. You can dance close. We can also dance separate. It's the opposite again. We start from pushing the floor. Urban kids, you first stretch the leg, then you shift the weight. but we push the 4 2 shifts away. Complete different mechanic on the walk. So and there is a lot more differences, posture-wise, the principles. Okay, you can also dance on the music, but we have a different way of using the music. There is music I cannot feel. I cannot dance to it. It's what people sometimes they call dessert. I cannot dance. It's not. I don't have anything against the music. I don't have anything against the dance. If I listen to that, I cannot dance to it because I haven't trained. I don't have the knowledge, or there is not really something that attracts me to dance to that kind of music, and that's as simple as that. I don't have anything against urban keys, as long as when people do and promote or teach, they say I'm doing this. If they say they are doing Kizomba, then do Kizomba, don't do urban keys. This is the only issue I have concerning the urban keys, let's say, community. Otherwise, we have classes of urban keys in our school with local teachers. We have urban keys teachers in our event, even though our event is mostly focused on Kizomba. We have always been open, and I think people have the right to choose what they feel like dancing in the moment, or what they feel like dancing all the night. We don't have to impose. We just have, as Kizomba teachers, I keep saying, my opinion again, Kizomba is way better than urban keys. But this is my opinion, and it's my job to show why. I know I can. But again, it's all a matter of taste. People that enjoy, as long as they are happy doing it, I'm also good. We have a Kizomba room here. The vibe is great. It's not as big as the urban keys room, even though it has the name of Kizomba there. But it's still, you know what I'm talking about. You go inside, the music is for urban keys dancers. The smaller room is for the Kizomba dancers. We play the music. We are having a blast with the music that you are listening. When I'm dancing, I'm having a blast with the music that the other DJs are playing. And the other people are in the urban keys room and they are having a blast themselves. Everybody's having a blast. That's the whole point. People having fun with what they enjoy. That's it.
Can dance here and dance here and change.
Yeah. Those who can dance both, cool. Those who want to dance bachata, go to bachata. It's just a matter of taste, feeling what people want to do, and nothing more. As long as people are respectful of what they promote. And this is the responsibility of promoters and the responsibility of teachers. If someone asks me, can you teach urban keys? I say, no, I cannot. And I'm not going to say that I can't just because I want to make money. I have to remain faithful to my principles. That's it.
Do you want to add something?
Well, what I wanted to say about the Kizomba and urban keys thing is more, I think that at the moment in a stage like what salsa passed through the years when the dance is changing. So it's happening the same, and sometimes I feel it's yet not really well defined, the difference.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to say I'm teaching Kizomba, I'm teaching urban, or when I'm teaching
fusion.
Something else. For me, fusion is already, urban is a fusion for me. So it's very hard. Now the dances are merged with each other. It's very hard to define what's what. I think it will take several years what salsa went through. So I kind of understand sometimes people when they don't define very well because they maybe don't even know yet what we are doing, because we are doing something. They are mixing different styles, different moves and so on. I just think that the time will pass and several styles will earn their place in the market, and probably they will be named differently so you can recognize what you are getting, what's the final product, and I think now it's all in the process, and we can judge or we can say, okay, that's not Kizomba anymore, but what it is, I think it's not yet 100% clear, so it's very hard also to judge and sell the product of what's not Kizomba anymore, what's the fusion, but well, I think that's what happens in everything in life. Everything is going on ahead. Everything is developing. It's just a matter of what people are going to choose, that we will stick to. I think that there is market exactly for everything.
And actually, we are thankful to urban keys. Most people, we cannot be hypocrites. Kizomba had a boom. The boom now is more on the side of the urban kids. And actually it's opening doors for people to, with time, they realize, first, there is no traditional Kizomba. Put this in your head. There is Kizomba and there is urban kids. When people with time, they get more in contact, they get more interested, they get more into the music, they start exploring, they start looking for something to complete them more as a dancer, what they like to listen. So people, with the process of learning, they develop their taste. And we are getting a lot of people, the Kizomba side is getting a lot of people that actually come from the urban kid side. And it's all a process. We have actually to be also thankful for the urban kids because it's just bringing more and more people to the Kizomba side. I hear sometimes people saying, oh, Kizomba Center, this is a dying dance. This couldn't be more wrong. People have no idea what they are saying. You know, if you compare and you ask, are they growing in the same exponential? No. Urban kids is going way faster. It's more commercial. It's easier to learn. Because for you to dance Kizomba, you need to have a proper body movement so you can feel the music. Kizomba, a lot of Kizomba music is sang in Portuguese. I understand. I vibrate with a lot of the songs. But a lot of people, they don't know what the song is talking about. So it's a barrier. It's a language barrier. Most of the music used for urban kids is instrumental. There is no lyrics. Or the lyrics are from pop music that are remixed with the zouk behind, beat, with the zouk behind, and then you have a music to dance urban kids. Or other kind of music that is turned into be able to dance urban kids. So there is a lot of easy identification with the music for people that grow up with a different kind of culture, let's say a Western culture. It's easier to identify themselves with the music and to enjoy the music. The same way, in the beginning, both of us, she had her stage, I had my stage. That lady's very on time. And there was a point that we were more into the ghetto group, the stronger beats and so on. And then with time, becoming a DJ, it has refined my taste in terms of music. So everything is a process. So it's basically that.
How long it took you to be in? I mean, because first you become a teacher.
I started DJing, if that's the question, because I had the need in Stockholm. Basically, it's very simple.
So in this one you weren't DJing?
No.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only started DJing because I had the need to. And the reason is very simple. In Stockholm, there was nobody. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know any DJ. I started doing a party, not a party. It was called Pratica, where students would gather every Wednesday and practice. And from the very beginning, I didn't want to culturalize them the way they were used to talking the chat. Meaning, song, finish, play the next song. Finish, play the next song. I want to bring from the beginning the culture of how we play music in Kizomba, which is mixing. So I started learning a lot by myself, tips with some DJs that I friend and I work with. So I started developing so I could give them the feeling as much better as possible, the best as possible, for them to have that from the early stage used to music being mixed. And this is the reason I started DJing. One side economical, because I could do it myself. I didn't have to pay someone else. Because in the beginning, those practicas, many times I was putting money out of my own pocket just to be able to run that practica. Because I would rent the spot in the school as if I would have a class, and then I have to pay, and I didn't have enough people paying for me to be able to run that practica. But for me, it was important that people would have a place where they could dance. Everything started like that. So, in the meantime, slowly I started getting into DJing, and then it became an addiction. I love it. I cannot explain the feeling. It's work, but it's a really damn good work.
But it was always like that the song is like getting on another song and mixed, or it became a Kizomba?
No, look, think. It's exactly the same thing as any other culture. In the Western culture, house music, you play song by song in the clubs, you mix.
No, it is, yeah.
You go to an 80s party, they play song by song, no, they mix. If you go to Dominican Republic, go to a club, local club, you will have mixed bachata, you will have mixed merengue, you have mixed everything. You go to an African club, you have mixed kizomba. You go to some Latin place in Latin America, you have a salsa party, they mix salsa. They don't play song by song. It's cultural. If you are within your culture, if that's part of your culture, the music is mixed. Our culture in Europe is house, pop, 80s, 90s music, this, and for us is you should go to a club and have music mixed. It's exactly the same thing. Nobody's playing song by song.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your dream about the influence of the Kizomba scene? How you wanna like put your mark in history of this music and dance?
I don't really think about that. You know, everything I do, we do is literally with heart. And as long as we have people smiling and thankful for what we share with them, maybe that's enough. Yeah, my mark is to try. Let's put it like this. I try to give the possibilities for people to experience Kizomba the way I do. And I love it so much, and there is reasons behind why I love it. So I try to create those conditions for people to love it as much or even more than me. And this is through the events that we organize, it's through the classes that we do, and as long as we can give them tools to be happy the same way we are with the Kizomba, I think that's basically the mark that we do.
Do you want to add something?
Well, I think what's nice about the Kizomba is the feeling in the couple and the connection part. And this is the thing that you cannot sense from the outside. You cannot see it, that it's there. And it's very hard to get to that point where you look at a video of Kizomba and you are like, if there is not much steps in there and many fancy things, it's very hard to feel it. So what I wish for, that more people would give a try and to get that connection point, because this is the most beautiful about Kizomba for me.
Yeah, it's hard to, it's that thing that took me to the Kizomba. It's hard to understand until you actually are into it. It's very hard. Urban Kids, for example, is way flashier. It's cool moves, you know, people put the hoods on, and you know, they get into that it feels like they,
easier to connect,
you know,
from the outside, because you can see and it creates an emotion. But when you are just hugging someone and standing with the person and moving,
not the touchy dance, I'm not talking about that. You have to be clear.
And moving very slowly, very slightly, and the music
Not as slow as the touchy dance. Continue.
You know, it's hard for people to even imagine what feelings it can create and how good it can feel. But to get to the point where you give yourself a chance to try, it takes also some time, because it's not easy to realize that something is happening at all. So my vision and my wish for the future, that more people will have a chance to find the teachers that can somehow transmit to them this feeling of the Kizomba, the romance of it, and the hug, and all the nice atmosphere that you can get out of dancing it and enjoyment. And well, also I personally love samba very much, and I think it's a lot of fun. So it kind of completes each other. One is more romantic and feeling, and another is more fun. So I think when you dance two, you kind of get a complete package.
Yeah.
Well, in my point of view, because I feel this music in that way. I like when Kizomba is romantic and Samba is fun and faster. So as I enjoy both sides, for me, when I have two in the party, I'm really happy because I get all the kind of feelings through the night.
Yeah, and Kizomba is a very adaptable dance. You said something that is very interesting. Many times people say, Kizomba is a sensual dance. It's not sensual, it's not sexual. Let's put it like this, is what Giedre was saying. It can be a very romantic dance. But, you can put sensuality and sexuality in anything. It's not about the dance or the kind of dance. Any dance can have that.
Intention.
Yeah. So everything depends on what people are looking for and what people are willing to do. Everything it's like beyond the dance itself. The dance itself is just a dance. There's nothing more. And actually, what I was trying to say is that Kizomba is a very adaptable dance. So you have genres like Giedre, Kizomba, Zouk from the French Antilles, Compa, Samba, Coladera, many different kinds of rhythms. And when we dance Kizomba to different kinds of rhythms, we have very specific and distinct ways of moving throughout the rhythm. So it's not just the change of the speed, it's the change of the flow. And when I say the flow, I'm talking about even the way you step, the way you work with your partner. There is a lot of small details that they create a difference. If I listen to music, I'm dancing with the same person. I listen to Giedre. If the person, after I'm dancing Kizomba, and if I'm going to dance to a Coladera, I'm going to dance in the three different kinds of genre of music. I'm going to dance differently with the same person. It's not the same. It's not just a matter of speed, or slowing down, speed up, slowing down, go to the beat, contratempo. It's not that, It's changing completely the dynamics of your movement to match the music.
So where can people find you on social media,
We have a page called Giedre, very first, and João Giedre. And Instagram, I don't think we have it.
No, we have a school page.
Kizomba Fabric.
Kizomba Fabric, and we have Instagram account for that too.
Personal accounts. We have the festival account. We have a lot. That's why we don't have
websites. Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff.
So
easy. Like festival, you can find it. Kizomba Fabric, you can find it. DJ Rock, you can find it. Or you can find me. But then you find me, you find her. Everything else. Then you have our personal profile. So Giedre La Paz, that was before she got married. João Rocha, I have two. Don't tell people. They will block me. And then, basically that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you for the opportunity as well.
Cześć Wam, z tej strony Duda, makeKizombaGROW.